You ever think you know the world until it shows you what's really hiding in the dark? That's how I usually begin when someone asks why I live where I do. Anyway, let's start from the beginning. Before we dive into the story, tell me from which country you're listening and what time it is there right now. We've all heard it before. I was never a believer in the supernatural until that thing happened to me. I used to laugh at those stories. I thought people made them up to feel special. But now I know without a doubt that there are strange things in this world, and I take back every smug word I ever said. I've always believed there's more out there. Things beyond us, things that go bump in the night or fall from the sky, forces that make you question the rules of reality itself. I used to think it was fun to imagine what the world would be like if they revealed themselves. Maybe humanity could even make peace with them someday. But that's wishful thinking. We can barely get along with ourselves. I live in a cabin outside the city. Nothing fancy, just solitude and trees. I'm no farmer, not even close. People ask why someone like me who believes in such things would move into the woods alone. Truth is, I thought not all of it could be evil. I was wrong. The forest I live in doesn't belong to me. It doesn't belong to anyone who lives nearby. This forest belongs to something, or someone, called THRLL. I've never seen him and I never want to. Anyone who does ends up strung in a tree, skinless like some twisted warning. I named him Peril because that's exactly what he brings. If you ever see him, you have maybe 30 seconds left to live. No more. He's not sloppy. He cleans up after himself. And if you want to survive here, you follow the rules. Always. If you're still listening, you might want to write these down. Actually, don't. Never bring a list into the woods. Memorize it. It's the only way you'll stay breathing. Rule 1, don't stay outside in the woods for more than 3 hours, ever. Rule 2, if you hear 4 twigs snap in a row, look down at the ground. Do not look anywhere else for 3 minutes. Rule 3, if you find a skinned human body hanging from a tree, act normal. Don't scream, don't take photos, acknowledge it and keep walking. Rule 4, if police come around, play dumb, smile, pretend you don't know anything. Rule 5, if you feel something outside your cabin at night, don't look out the window, don't open the door. Rule 6, keep your place clean. THRLL goes for the unkempt, though that won't save you forever. Rule 7, never warn someone already marked by him. You'll only speed up their death and maybe yours. There are rules for outsiders too, campers and hikers. Jewelry acts as a kind of shield. Don't swear at nature. Don't follow screams at night. If you hear rustling, stay by your fire. Never harm wildlife, not even a squirrel. I'm writing this now from a cafe in town, outside of Peril's reach. I've learned his boundaries and how to bend them just enough to talk. I know this sounds insane, but I've tested it. I've survived. Others haven't. Once, I tried calling the cops. The dispatcher laughed. "Please call someone else about your ghost story, sir." Yeah, they stopped showing up long ago. I've seen too many come and go. Campers, hikers, young idiots chasing ghost stories. The first real horror I stumbled on still haunts me. A group of teenage boys, maybe 16, came out here for a birthday camping trip. Loud, disrespectful, drunk on freedom. One of them threw a rock at a squirrel and killed it. That was enough. They'd drawn Peril's attention. I didn't know it yet. I was out for my usual walk, careful with my time, when I caught that smell. Iron and rot. My stomach dropped. I crept toward their clearing, heart pounding. The stench got thicker with every step. Then I saw them. 6 boys, hung upside down from trees, stripped clean of skin, bloodless, only bone and muscle left. I stood there shaking, fighting back the urge to vomit. Their phones still buzzed in the dirt. One screen was lit up. A message from someone's mom. "Enjoy your birthday trip, Mikey. Your dad and I love you." I nearly cried. What could I do? Nothing. Not without joining them. The police came later. I told them I'd heard some teenagers. That was it. They didn't write anything down, didn't care. Sometimes I wonder if Peril let me live just so I'd tell his stories for him. I've told myself that staying here gives me purpose, that I'm saving lives by sharing what I know. Maybe that's true, or maybe I'm just another fool with a death wish. The next time it happened, it was different. Her name was Pia Dunley, a 30-year-old hiker who decided to walk the trail at night. She probably thought it'd be peaceful. It wasn't. I woke to her scream. Sharp, human, and heartbreakingly close. I froze in bed. I didn't move, didn't breathe. 10 seconds, maybe less, and then silence. Cold, complete silence. You ever hear something die and know you could have done nothing? That's a special kind of guilt. I just stared at the wall until sunrise, hating myself for staying alive. They never found her body. Of course not. THRLL doesn't leave bodies behind for long. But I know she died not 20 feet from my cabin. Later that week, the woods felt wrong, heavier, quieter. I started keeping my lights dim, my movements slower, my voice lower. Because out here, silence keeps you alive. But silence doesn't protect you from what's already gone. It was about 3 nights after Pia's scream when I woke again, this time to the sound of snapping branches, close enough to make the walls hum. My blood turned to ice. 4 snaps, then silence, then a voice. "Keep quiet or it'll hear you." It was a woman's voice, soft, distorted, almost metallic. I turned, fists clenched, expecting something monstrous, and there she was. Pia, or what was left of her. She hovered inches off the floor, translucent eyes full of something that wasn't hate but wasn't peace either. "You have no idea," she whispered, "what it's like to have your skin torn off while you can still feel it." I couldn't move, couldn't speak. She told me she wasn't here for revenge. She wanted my help. She wanted to expose peril. "You can't," I said. "He'll kill us both." Her ghostly laugh was faint, brittle. "Then maybe we die trying." The room grew colder. I swear I could see my breath when she leaned in and whispered, "The rules keep you safe, but they keep him hidden too. When you talk to a ghost, you start to lose track of what's real." Her breathless voice was sharp against the still air, and I could swear I felt the cold ripple through my bones as she hovered near the door. "You want to help me?" I asked, still clutching the small lamp on my nightstand like it could protect me. "Why me?" "Because you're the only one left who knows the rules," she replied. "You survived him. That means something." Her eyes, or the memory of them, drifted toward the window. "He's out there, you know, always listening, always watching." "I know," I said quietly, "but as long as I follow the rules, rules won't save you forever." She turned her face toward me then, a flicker of sorrow flashing across her features. "He's changing. Perril's not what he was when he first came here. That stuck with me. It rattled something deep inside. Could something like him even change?" Before I could ask, she faded into the air, a soft shimmer, gone as if she'd never been there. The cabin fell into that thick, suffocating silence again. I didn't sleep for the rest of the night. When dawn finally came, I packed my things and walked out onto the porch. The forest was too still, as if holding its breath, and for the first time since I'd moved out here, I realized I was no longer just a witness. I was involved. A week later, 2 men showed up at my cabin. Locals, Gregor and Milan, I think. Rough beards, heavy boots, voices that carried arrogance like a scent. They said they were surveyors for a new trail route. I knew better. "You the guy who's been writing about the woods?" Gregor asked, spitting tobacco near my boots. I shrugged. "Maybe." They laughed. "People say you're full of crap, that you made it all up." I didn't argue. Arguing gets you killed out here. But they didn't leave. They started wandering into the trees, cracking branches, talking loud. I wanted to warn them, but the 7th rule echoed in my mind. Never warn those already marked. I watched from my porch as dusk crept in. The air thickened. The birds stopped. Then came it, 4 sharp snaps in perfect rhythm. I dropped my gaze to the dirt and began counting. 1, 2, 3 minutes. Not a second less. When I looked up, they were gone. I never found their bodies. Just Gregor's hat hanging on a low branch, still warm to the touch. Sometimes I wonder if peril keeps souvenirs. I started noticing something after that night. The forest, it listens. Sometimes, when I whispered to myself, I'd hear the faintest echo, not repeating, answering. A sound too soft to be wind, too deliberate to be coincidence. It got worse when the fog rolled in. The mist here has weight to it, like it carries whispers between the trees. Once I heard my own voice murmuring back at me, only twisted, slower, wrong. That's when I started writing everything down, not just the rules, but every pattern I'd noticed. The number of hours between sightings, the places where birds never land, the trees that bleed sap the color of rust. I'd become obsessed, or maybe peril wanted me to. Late one night, as I sat by the dim glow of a candle, I felt it again, the shift in air, the creeping cold. I turned, expecting Pia, but instead there was something else, a shape, not clear but present, a figure of black mist, crouched outside my window. It didn't move, didn't breathe, it just watched. I didn't blink until morning. I think peril knows I'm documenting him. Maybe he even wants me to finish. The next day, I found something nailed to my door, a scrap of bark carved with symbols I didn't recognize. Underneath, in letters carved deep into the wood, was one word. 8! A new rule? A warning? I didn't know, but I felt it. A pull, like my chest tightening from the inside. Maybe the forest was adding its own commandments now. That night, Pia came again, her glow faint, her voice tired. "He's testing you," she said. "Rule 8 isn't for everyone, it's for you." "What does it mean?" I demanded. She hesitated. "It means you've been chosen." I didn't like the sound of that. "What happens if I break it?" Her expression hardened. "You won't live long enough to find out." But her voice lingered in my head like an echo. The forest remembers its keepers. That's when it hit me. I wasn't just surviving the woods anymore. I was becoming part of them. Morning came gray and heavy. The woods stretched around me like a bruise. Even the light seemed weaker, diffused through layers of mist. I'd never seen it this thick before. I tried to leave, to walk the 3-hour path to the road, but every turn led me back to the same clearing. My own footprints circled me. Peril wasn't hunting me anymore. He was trapping me. The fog moved like it had a pulse. Within it, I saw glimpses, shadows of the lost. Gregor, Milan, the teenage boys, and Pia watching me from between the trees. "You can't leave now," she whispered. "You're the witness. You're a storyteller." My throat went dry. "I never asked for that." "No one does," she said sadly. But someone has to remember. That's when I realized what the carvings meant. Rule 8 wasn't a warning, it was an initiation. The forest no longer tolerated my presence. It claimed it, and somewhere behind the mist, deep in the trees, I heard the soft crack of 4 twigs snapping in perfect rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't sleep for 2 days. The fog never lifted, and the forest silence pressed down like a heavy blanket. By the 3rd morning, I realized I wasn't alone. There were voices outside the cabin, low, clipped, mechanical, not peril, not ghosts, human. I cracked the blinds just enough to see a glint of metal. 3 figures moved through the haze, wearing gray tactical gear and strange devices shaped like scanners. They swept them across the tree line, murmuring in codes I couldn't decipher. One of them paused, turning toward my cabin. I ducked back, heart hammering. Seconds later, the door shattered inward. "Hands up!" one shouted. Before I could react, Pia appeared, translucent, fierce, and raised both her hands. The men lifted into the air, slamming into the ceiling like rag dolls. The boards cracked beneath their weight. Then came 3 more soldiers, replacing the fallen ones with military precision. "She's here!" one barked. "Ecto reading confirmed." "Deploy the magnet." A yellow triangular device clattered to the floor. A flash of light, blinding, all-consuming, filled the room. Pia screamed, her form twisting violently as if pulled apart by invisible force. "Pia!" I shouted, but it was useless. She was gone. The soldiers aimed at me now. "Down! On your knees!" I obeyed, my rule sheet scattered on the floor beside me. "Knock him out," said the leader. "Director wants him alive." The last thing I saw was the butt of a rifle swinging toward my forehead and the room collapsing into darkness. When I woke, everything was white. No windows, no stains, not even a shadow. Only a metal table and me handcuffed to a chair. A door hissed open. A woman stepped in. Early 40s, blonde hair tied in a precise ponytail, glasses that gleamed under the sterile lights. She smiled thinly. "Hello, Mr. Tin," she said, voice flat as paper. "Where the hell am I?" I snapped. "Are you government?" "You saw my post online? Because this is not how you help someone." Her smile didn't move. "We did see your post, actually. The director and I were very grateful for all the information you provided." My throat tightened. "Who's the director, and where's Pia?" "She's been moved," the woman replied. "We performed a ritual through our supernatural division." "She's where she needs to be now, no longer on this planet." "You're insane," I muttered. "Insane?" She chuckled coldly. "No, Mr. Tin. Efficient." The door opened briefly. A soldier leaned in. "Dr. West," he said, "Director wants the green light on 16A. He's getting impatient." "Tell him it's already the plan," she snapped, "and that he needs a hearing aid." When he left, she folded her arms. "You have 2 options, Mr. Tin. Join us, or die." I stared at her, barely processing. "This is the part where you tell me you're the good guys, right?" "Good is relative," Dr. West said. "You've shown intelligence, curiosity. My superiors believe you could be useful as a researcher here, studying and analyzing entities like THRLL." I scoffed. "In my other option," she smiled faintly, "a bullet to the head, quick." Clean. The words hit like ice water. My mind spun, clinging to fragments of reason. "You said you'd handle THRLL. How? You don't even know what he is." "That," she said, "is classified." Before I could answer, the soldier returned. "Dr. West, 16A is loaded. Team's moving out." "Fine," she growled. "Tell them to do their jobs and shut up." When he left again, I leaned forward. "What's 16A?" Her eyes narrowed. "You don't need to know." A long pause. The sound of my pulse filled the silence. "Finally," I said, "I'll accept." Her brow rose. "Excuse me? I'll work for you," I continued, "on one condition." West sighed. "You're in no position to make demands." "I know you have Pia Dunley's records," I said. "Find her adopted son. Make sure he gets through college. And every family that lost someone to peril. Compensate them. If you do that, I'll cooperate." She stared at me like I'd grown another head. Then, reluctantly, "I'll see what I can do, but the cost comes out of your salary." "That's fine," I said. "Didn't think you'd be generous for free." The door opened once more, and a man entered. Sharp suit, polished shoes, not a wrinkle in sight. He moved like someone who'd practiced power his whole life. "So you're the man we've been watching," he said pleasantly. "Name's Ted, Director of Operations." He extended his hand. I didn't take it. "Quite the report you wrote, Mr. Tin. Fascinating material. Disturbing, too. You may have saved lives without realizing it." "Or doomed them," I said quietly. He smiled. "Perspective. You see threats. We see opportunities." Dr. West stood behind him, expression unreadable. Ted continued, "Accepting our offer means your work continues, just in a more controlled environment. Everything you've seen will remain confidential." "Agreed." I looked between them, the clean walls, the cold eyes, the invisible leash tightening around my throat. My choices weren't choices at all. I accept, I said at last. Ted's smirk grew. Excellent. Then allow me to be the first to say, he paused, savoring the moment. Welcome to the agency. Somewhere deep inside, a part of me screamed. They gave me a uniform, an ID card, and a lab. That's how it starts here, with silence and fluorescent light. The others walk the halls like ghosts, whispering about operations and containments. I keep my head down. A week later, Ted summoned me. "THRLL's been neutralized," he said. "Operation 16A was successful. I didn't believe him. You can't kill what doesn't live." Still, he handed me a folder. THRLL's remnants. Inside were fragments of tree bark, twisted metal, and something else, a small wooden board etched with letters. The Ouija board. Pia's. That night, I sat alone in my quarters staring at it. The air grew cold again. Then faintly a voice. "Hers, you kept your promise." I smiled weakly. I tried. Silence. Then, "Be careful. The forest doesn't forgive." When I looked up, my reflection in the lab's glass didn't match my movement. It stood still, eyes black as the tree line I'd once called home. Maybe THRLL never died. Maybe he just changed hosts. And as the lights flickered and the air chilled, I finally understood. You don't escape the forest. You just bring it with you.